I understand a lot of people are oversensitized with the constant information being put out about George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter movement, and the continued police brutality. That is what will be discussed today, as well as my personal experience of racial discrimination. If this is not your cup of tea, that is fine, but please excuse yourself. I'm here to speak of acknowledgement, drop some knowledge, and express my gratitude for all people that have gathered around this country and world that agree that the beaten path we are on is not in vain. Hey YouTube, if you got past the disclaimer, welcome. Welcome back to my channel, lenamonee. So we're just gonna jump right on in. So today this video is very important to me. The Black Lives Matter movement is very important to me as well. I'm part of that community. And as well, I just wanna talk about, firstly, George Floyd, which I know a lot of people have watched the video, and a lot of people have not watched the video and don't want to watch the video, which is definitely understandable. And for me, that was definitely my first response. I never watch any of the videos when it talks about police brutality in the streets. I just never did. I always just watched, I'm sorry, not watched, but read the words that was put out by the newscasters, their websites, or people making comments about things that happened, but I never would watch the video. So before obviously this movement occurred and that video dropped, I watched the video. I don't know why something compelled me to watch this particular video. Like, why is this video out of all videos, I need to watch it? But I watched it. I think what it was is that I saw a man. I saw a black man, a dark-skinned man, who reminded me of my grandfather. Just seeing this black, dark-skinned man who looked like he was strong, but he was being withered down to nothing by the supremacy of the police brutality. And I decided to watch it. I felt so many different emotions, as I know many Americans and people around the world have felt. I felt anger, I felt hatred, I felt like crying, I almost did. And it sprouted up this movement again to be louder than it was prior. And you can't thank the present leaders and enforcers of the Black Lives Movement now without appreciating what occurred in the past from Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. And I think that civil rights movement was stemmed originally from Emmett Till dying in 1955 in Mississippi by the hands of farmers, store owners, and knowing that the justice system had failed him, knowing that they had walked away, celebrated, kissed their loved ones, went home, lived their lives. I think some of them are even still alive today. So 1955, mid-1955, civil rights movement occurred, you know, with the sit-ins and Rosa Parks and on and on and on and on and on. And here we are today. And with the library being closed, I'm really missing the library because there are books that I want to read and I always get them from the library. And if I really like it, I do eventually just buy them and add them to my collection. One book that I really want to get is from Degruy, Leary, and it's a book called PTSD, Post-Traumatic Slave Disorder. And I really want to read that book because she talked about it so much. I saw on forums, on YouTube, and she even teaches at university. So I do have this clip I am going to show you. She spoke at Portland University and speaking about her experience when she went to the continent of Africa. And for me, after I saw that, I cried. I did cry when I saw that. And I think me talking about what she said does not give it justice. I think it can only be best described by her. So I am going to post a clip of that, and I'm also going to list down below the full link. So you want to finish up watching the whole lecture she was talking there at Portland University, you can go ahead and do that, but I am going to roll it now.
My sister looks at me. So everybody's on their feet singing. I'm tore up, sup, in the corner. So this black woman who was in the corner of the room walks all the way towards me, grabs me by the hand and said, "Did you think we would forget you? I am from Lesotho, and Lesotho is my home. If I leave Lesotho, Lesotho is still my home. If I leave Lesotho for 15 years, Lesotho is still my home. We mourned Malcolm and Martin with you. We are so, so very proud of you. You are African 300 years from home. We just wondered when you were coming back. And then I realized how much of me had been taken from me. So when I came home, I was a little depressed.
So yeah, that video had me crying like a baby. I just really, it just really hit home. Just knowing that, you know, you leave the place of no return and you return and you get a welcome. 400 years. This is still your home. After 400 years, this is still your home. And it really hurts me when I hear people talk about how, oh, if I was a slave, I would have killed master. I would have did this. I would have did that. They couldn't have held me down. They wouldn't have caught me. Or people say, oh, slavery happened so-and-so years ago, 100-some years ago, and I don't care. We talking about now. But in the words of Maya Angelou, loosely spoken, you need to know where you came from so history does not repeat itself. And for those who say, oh, if I was a slave, I would have did this, I would have did that. Knowledge is truly power. And I will say that a lot of times in this video. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Because there was an instance for rebellions. There were slave rebellions. Of course, they ran away. That was them saying, hey, we don't like this. You know, this is not what we signed up for. I mean, we didn't sign up for a period to be taken, stolen, and all raped and all that stuff either. But hey, this is what we got. And I feel very proud in my culture because the stock that we are made from, we are constantly being put down and oppressed. And with all these constant laws in place, laws so you can go to school because, you know, freedom of going to school, not based on race, of equal education, laws being in place so you could vote, laws being in place so you could do this, laws in place for that, the Breonna Taylor law, law. All these laws are for the advancement of Black African Americans in the culture, because without them, we would not be given them. And I know, how dare us, all the audacity to demand such laws and liberties and freedoms that we were so deserved. We were owed that. But for some reason, here we are today, 2020, and having to still march. Anybody who's a fan of Spike Lee films, raise your hand. I love Spike Lee films, and being at home on the weekends, because I still work through the week, I had saw this film called The Five Bloods, and it was a really great film. If anybody saw that film, give a like, shoot a comment down below. What was your favorite part of the film? My favorite part of the film was when it was a Vietnamese woman speaking over the radio lines to the Black soldiers, basically saying, you know, while you're over here fighting for freedom, for, you know, for people, you don't even have those same rights in your own country. While you're fighting and dying in our fields, in our jungle, your people are being brutally killed by police officers, and you don't even have those rights. So what are you truly fighting for? It was profound to me because it was really, really true. You know, you're fighting for something you don't even have. And I think we all have stories of some incidents where they were discriminated against. I mean, my discrimination story starts when I lived in the country. My mom had moved us out to the rural country. Down on my street, there was only 2 Black people, my family and a gentleman down the road. Other than that, no other Black person lived on the street. So my mom had sent me to Drug Mart to go get some Arizona iced teas. And where I lived, it was like 15-20 minute drive just to get there. So I was like, okay, Mom, I'll go. So I drive all the way there at a 4-way intersection. And that feeling you get when somebody's staring you down, that's the feeling that I had. And across from me was a police officer, a white police officer. He was staring at me. And I looked away because I was very uncomfortable with how much he was looking at me. So I proceeded on to Drug Mart, went and got the teas, came out. When I came out the store, that same officer that was staring me down was parked behind my car. And another police officer car was parked behind his. And there was another police officer car blocking their cars. So if I wanted to leave or like, oh, whatever, no, I'm like, I'll have to walk, run, something. And then I asked him, like, you know, they're like, are you the owner of this vehicle? And I said, yes, I am. And I showed them my license because, of course, they're going to run your plates. And they saw, yeah, okay, yeah, you own the vehicle or whatever. And I asked him why he stopped me. He said, because basically I looked at him. I seemed suspicious. Okay. So obviously I didn't get a ticket or a citation or anything like that. We didn't recognize you. We're stopping people we don't recognize because they're having some 4-H type of thing going on where they have like, I forget what it's called, but yeah, some type of event was going on and they were stopping people for no reason. So he let me go and I drove off very angry, cursing a lot, very upset. And as I was driving off, I saw they had stopped another car and they were black people. Probably again, we don't recognize you. Where do you live? Are you really from here? Those same type of questions they were asking me. When I got home, my mom was upset because she was like, what took you so long? It don't take that long to get no teas and come back home, blah, blah, blah. After I told her what happened, she called the police station. And she explained what was going on, and I'm crying and yelling in the background. And the sheriff of the station, you know, reached out and gave an apology. And I said, no, I want an apology from the officer that stopped me. That's who I want an apology from. Not from his superior, from the officer that did it. That's who I want the apology from. Did I get it? No. So I digress. But, you know, that was my experience. That was my racial discrimination experience. And I just want to thank those who are out there on the beaten street fighting for equality. It is going to take all of us, not just black people, but white people, brown people, red people, orange people, purple people, all people to fight for this. Because again, we are demanding freedom, justice, and equality. Something that we were promised, something that we are deserved, something that others can walk around and live their lives and just have it willingly. They don't have laws in place for them to get equality and not to be discriminated against. So we are asking for those same things. And we are asking for justice for those that have been killed, their lives taken away. So you're going to see in this last 2 slides, actually, a list of names that I state and rest in power. Those who have been killed in the possession of police officers, or some you might have seen their deaths on Facebook or YouTube or some type of social media standing. And some names you're not going to recognize. And I think for me, it's like the old saying, if a tree falls in the middle of nowhere, do you hear a sound? And the truth is, yes, you're not going to see all of our deaths, but we're still making a sound. And now we're just at the brink of saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. I mean, even in the year of, I'm trying to think of it, 1862, Abraham Lincoln signed a bill for the District of Columbia letting the slaves free and giving reparations to the slave owners based on the amount of slaves that they lost. Basically, I guess it was given just so they could save or salvage their farms. So they received either $300 or $100, and it was only to those who were faithful to the Union, okay? Based on the number of slaves that they lost, you know. Oh no, you let my slave go? You let that human go? Oh, my farm. Oh, whoa, me. Oh, my money. Oh, my pocketbook. But, you know, they were the only one. They didn't do that, obviously, to the rest or the South of the United States who lost. I think mainly also to them because they are the capital of the United States. And it's like, look, how are we going to sit here talking about freeing slaves and we got slaves up here. So, yeah, they did that. Again, knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. And with that, I'm reminded of slavery every day because of my name. Not my first name. That was given to me by my mama. But my last name, because it's not of my own. You know, that dude down the street, that black man, his last name isn't Jones, you know, but that's the name given to him. You know, you get the last name, the name of your slaveholder. So I'm reminded of mine. And so many have been reminded of theirs. You were stripped of your name. You were stripped of your heritage. You were stripped of your language. But yet, again, the stock that we are made from, I stand proudly in it and through it. And with that, thank you. I know I ranted a lot, but I thank you. I thank, again, those that are out there fighting. Those, I stand with you. I love and I appreciate. And this is not just for everybody. This is, well, yeah, this information is for everybody. But I hope that one day we can see a day that my child and my child's children and so on can get to a point where we fight enough. And it's like, this is it. We are finally at peace. And we're not going to stop talking about it. We're not going to stop talking about it because it keeps happening to us. And, you know, I think about those songs back in the days in the 90s with Tupac and Ice Cube and Ice-T and rapping about police brutality. It's been going on for years. Okay? Centuries. It's been going on. And with all that being said, again, knowledge is power. You have to look up your history. You have to. And I thank you. Please like, subscribe, shoot some comments down below. Again, let me know what your favorite part of the Five Bloods was. Speak your truth down below as well. Your opinions, your words matter as well. If you think this video was something that was knowledgeable, please share with others. And with all that being said, Asante Sana. Peace, YouTube.
Hear us stand up on the Underground Railroad.
My face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run.